I say this with the reddest of rose-colored glasses. These sets are awesome. So I guess I've been bit by the nostalgia bug. I've had these two sets sitting in my backlog for quite a while, and I've only recently taken the time to build them. And they sent nostalgic vibes just flooding in. And these are the Obi-Wan Starfighter with Hyperspace Ring and the Ultimate Space Battle. I didn't actually own any of these sets growing up, but they still both held a special place in young me's heart. My best friend's older brother had the Obi-Wan Starfighter with Hyperspace Ring, and I can remember playing with it and having a blast. He also had the ARC 170 and the 2007 MTT, and because of that, they're some of my most wanted Star Wars sets. Now, I don't actually remember this, but I've been told I broke the ARC 170, and he was rightfully mad at me. But the Ultimate Space Battle, I got the deal of a lifetime on. I don't really have any memories of this set growing up, but I do remember looking at all the different components in the 2009 LEGO Star Wars Visual Dictionary. I have vivid memories of going to my Scholastic book fair in my elementary school and buying this. Now, this isn't my exact copy. Mine was very well loved. This copy used to belong to some punk named Spencer. This book made me want sets that at the time were completely unattainable. And the Battle of Coruscant is one of my favorite Star Wars scenes, so this set is absolutely perfect. And of the 2005 Battle of Coruscant sets, all I'm missing is the ARC 170. I had a chance to buy a sealed one recently, but definitely wasn't dropping this much money. I've spent days of my life looking through this book. I would study it, I would take inspiration from it, I would build things out of here, or at least to the best of my ability. And one of the sets that kind of stood out to me was the Wookiee Catamaran. And this past May 4th, it financially ruined me. I'm in a Star Wars-y mood, so I'm really only going to be talking about Star Wars in this video. There are tons of themes that I'm totally nostalgic for, but we'd be here all day if I were talking about that. The era of Star Wars that I had growing up is like 2005 to 11, 12-ish. With LEGO Lord of the Rings and LEGO Castle, I wasn't caring as much about Star Wars. And sure, I was still enamored with Star Wars, but it wasn't my priority. And this kind of stayed the same until probably 2017-ish, about when I first started on YouTube. And then in 2020, I took a big dive back into Star Wars. And I went through and rebuilt some of my old sets. That's when I bought these. I was also trying to get as many of the current LEGO Star Wars sets as I could. But in the present, as long as you ignore my May 1st purchases, I've kind of been moving away from LEGO Star Wars. Not that I don't love it, not that I don't want to build mocks on it. There are things that I'd rather spend my time and money on, like the Enchanted Forest. I, however, have joined a LEGO Star Wars RPG, so I will be doing a lot more Star Wars builds than I have. But that's not why we're here today. Nostalgia is. The era of Star Wars that I like the most is the Clone Wars to Revenge of the Sith. Oh, and Rebels. Rebels is some of my favorite Star Wars. Sure, I love the original trilogy and the sequels, but they're just not as near and dear to me, and this is definitely reflected in the stuff that I've chosen to put on display. Making this video really made me want to reclaim my display space. What I had here before was really bad, like a horror movie level of really bad. It was a pile of sets, parts, falling apart sets that I've been stealing parts from. I'm pretty limited in space for display, and this is it for the space that I will be taking up with Star Wars sets. And about 75% of the Star Wars I have on display is like Revenge of the Sith, and a lot of it is stuff that I built in the last month, give or take. And that's what's making me feel all nostalgic and making me make this video. It's not often that I build sets, and when I do, it's the special ones like this. And there's a couple factors that go into this. For instance, not having anywhere to put it on display. But now that I do have a display, we're right back to where we were. Not having any space to put stuff on display. I'll probably start like rotating through sets or whatever. I'll figure something out. This is my first ever Star Wars set, the Hyena Droid Bomber. It was pretty cool, and I really like this bombing function. But to be honest, it doesn't really hold up today. Kinda awkwardly big, and especially in like a flying mode, it doesn't look the best. It does look better in the standing mode, and that's how I've chosen to display it. The Eta II class Jedi Starfighter is probably my favorite Star Wars ship, and I have one of each color that LEGO has made. And it's really interesting seeing the differences between the models. Like, I built the 2005 one, the day before I built the 2007 one. And the amount that changed and stayed the same in those 2 years was really interesting. And then when you look at the dark green one, you can really see the changes made. And this one here is the most recent one. And how they've changed that model in 15 years is crazy. Though I think I like the 2005 a little bit more. It's a little sleeker. Or I'm being blinded by nostalgia. Anakin's dark green one is one I actually had growing up. And dark green is one of my favorite LEGO colors, so this one is just awesome. It also came with an Anakin and Obi-Wan duel. This was just such a great set. You got the ship, you got to be able to play this awesome scene, and then you also got the Nute Gunray and Security Battle Droid. In my opinion, this is just one of the best Star Wars sets we've ever gotten. But after Obi-Wan has the high ground, Palpatine can come rescue Anakin. This is another set I had, Palpatine Shuttle, and it was probably my favorite set growing up. I think it was actually the biggest ship that I had. You got Palpatine, burnt up Anakin that you can make Darth Vader, this sick medical droid, and a clone pilot. The set was big, imposing, just all around cool, and if you were me, it became just a Republic shuttle. And this Vader transformation play feature, peak. Side note, I just love this console print. And then having the shuttle paired with a couple V-Wings, there's nothing better. Speaking of V-Wings, the Imperial V-Wing. This was just such an interesting set, and I love these style pilots, and I think the Imperial V-Wing pilot is my favorite Trooper minifigure. And really, this is what we should have gotten in Bad Batch. Not this. I've pretty much only talked about prequel sets, so let's talk about some OT. The Battle of Endor. I can remember begging my mom for this set, and she came back with a joke about how, oh, it's 9 to 14, but I wasn't 9 yet. I was like, no, it'll be fine. This set had a mechanical, like, sliding open and closed door that 8-year-old me could not figure out, and I never ended up finishing the set. I do remember putting the Ewok glider wings on the AT-ST. There were more than just sets that I had in my childhood that made me love LEGO Star Wars. We had comic books, we had animated shorts, Flash games on CartoonNetwork.com. Even the commercials were better. No matter the weapons, no matter the firepower, you control the action. Like, I remember building the closest thing I could to a Republic gunship and then taking it apart and replaying the ad as if I had an actual gunship. Even though it was a set story, it felt like I was in control of the action. Each set sold separately. And then we also had things like Revenge of the Brick, Bombad Bounty, the quest for R2-D2. And I really thought the quest for R2-D2 was going to be a lot more in the actual Clone Wars than it was, because we had the animated short. It was a several part Lego Club comic on it. There was a Flash game. Those Lego Club magazines also had me thinking the Holocron arc was totally different. But that's what's great about them. They were their own story. I think they ultimately made it more fun, and they connected sets that wouldn't otherwise be connected. Looking at the sets coming out today, they're cool, but I don't feel like they're as connected as they used to be. And just one example, battle packs. We used to get 2 at a time and they were opposing, like the Death Watch battle pack and this Clone battle pack. In the Clone Wars, they weren't up against each other, but because of the comics and how they put out the sets, it felt like they would be. It just feels like missed opportunities. I think I'm just ranting now. So let's keep that up. Helmet holes? Guys, get over yourselves. They're not that bad. Also, we've been asking for them forever. This has helmet holes. Is it bad? No. To carry on the rant, this set right here, the latest May 4th promo, it should just be a set. I should be able to walk into a store and buy it for $25, $30. It shouldn't be stuck behind a $160 paywall that only lasts for a weekend. Also, the original Phase 2 clones, let's be real, they look a little wonky, but I still love them. Especially the pilots. One more thing, stud shooters. I remember when they were first introduced, it was a couple battle packs and Ultra Agents. I thought they were the coolest thing ever. Obviously that's worn off and I'm glad we're getting real blasters and sets now, but we can't be pretending like they weren't cool. For my most recent Star Wars mock, the Battle of Felucia, you should go check out that video. I built a Clone Walker battle pack. Obviously I made it way cooler, and I did this out of nostalgia, kind of. Mostly because I couldn't build an AT-RT. But the Clone Walker battle pack is just such an iconic LEGO battle pack. And I've been told it appears in like some comics post Rise of the Empire, but I really like what I came up with. And I love that I was able to replicate the minifigures too, just Phase 2 this time. And with how much I enjoyed doing this, I might try building some other iconic battle packs. The Imperial dropship would probably be next, but let me know if there's any others you'd like to see. But I should probably wrap this video up. I've got a ton to work on for Brickworld Chicago. This video was really fun. I rarely do anything with LEGO Star Wars, let alone the sets. And I had a blast going down memory lane. And who knows, maybe I'll do this again someday.